Welcome everyone to my channel, and we continue with new read our series, our ACOTAR, and next book what we will talk, it would be A Court of Winds and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas. And of course you have a question, did I enjoy read this book or no? And I would say honest answer, no. Why? Personally of me, why I buy in romantic fantasy? Because I want to read about love. Why I want buy fantasy? Because I want to read some unusual love line, right? When it's like some interesting story behind this, that how it's like fairies, yeah, in this book. That it would be something maybe like bad, and afterwards like everything to do that deserves that woman would be love him, and that's what is like for what we buy in it, right? Like spicy sand, like love with some intrigue, something like this supposed to be, right? And what we have in this book mostly it's about war. And if I want to read books about wars, I would choose some what is non-fiction or like historical fiction, right? But I don't like when it's too much about war in the books of the romantic fantasy. In what in romantic fantasy is supposed to be? It's love, sex, magic, and some intrigue. And war supposed to be on the background, not on the front line. It's supposed to be on the background. Especially it's like series. And I usually always pretty skeptical about series of the book. Usually it's like first, second, it's okay, third, fourth, and fifth, it's already worse. Yes, I was watching many reels on Instagram, and I know that fifth supposed to be like very spicy, very good book, but we will talk about this one on my next video. On this video, we talk about exactly this book of it's like third of the series. How it starts this book, if you remember, Feyre come to the Tamlin mansion, and she pretends that she is loyal, that destroyed his court. So we will see if it would be successful or not, and what it would be the consequence about this. But I would rate this book probably 3 from the 5. I was disappointed because war supposed in romantic fantasy be on the background. Love supposed to be the first line. And what is another I'm disappointed, it's also about this book that the whole book it would be storytell from the Feyre, and I would prefer that it would be from another character already telling the story, right? But we have what we have. It's from the Feyre about like other characters, what we will talk more with you about in the spoiler part. So would I recommend this book or no? I would say yes, because it's serious, and you want or you don't want, you have to continue to read this book, right? Especially when it's everybody saying that fifth it's supposed to be very spicy. So let's to discuss this book, and afterwards to see how it would be next book. And my favorite spoiler part, so short what it happened in this heavy big book. Look how it's heavy, like really heavy. It's 800 pages, right? Is it? Oh no, it's 700 pages, right? Well, it's take 1 week for me to read this because, how I said before, I wasn't so much enjoying this. Anyway, so what it happened? So how you remember at the end of the second book, Tamlin was full of love about Feyre, and he was sacrificed all his land to the Highburn. Highburn is I will put map that everybody would see. So Highburn King, he is like living here in the small island. And so here, like in this big island, it's like all fairs, right? And it's like the continent we have, where it's like fairs and humans live. So Tamlin, he has a spring court. It's like what is on the border with the humans. And Hybern King really want to put his army to the Tamlin's land, right? Because he rules this land. And he was just thinking, okay, how I can make it. And he is, remember, the Tamlin very full character in this like book. So Tamlin had agreement with Hybern King that his army can stand on his land, and for this king supposed to help him return the Feyre. Feyre, who is like happy live with the Bryson, his mate, her mate, sorry. So Feyre is so angry about all this, and she just like thinking, okay, I destroyed him, but she is pretend that she is loyal, and she came to the Tamlin court, and instead she is manipulate everybody, the Tamlin and Lucien and the servants, everybody she is manipulate. So her goal is destroy Tamlin's court, and that's the way that she can all his forces make against of him, that they reject their loyalty to him. And Tamlin even don't think about this, like he's suspicious, but still he is very love her, and he already gives her much more freedom than it was before, what it was his mistake, because that's way was easy to her make his people against of him. Lucien, he is understood that it's something wrong with this. He is very suspicious about Feyre, but he can do anything because, how we remember from the previous few books, he is made of one of her sister. So he is trying to be like pretty quiet about everything and to have like more neutral position, because he kind of like Tamlin, but also he is understands that he has made one of Feyre's sister. So how we can see like next that her his goal was successful, and she is destroyed kind of like court of the Tamlin. People don't trust him, and plus she was killed two nephews of the king of Hybern. They had conflict with the Feyre, and Feyre was with Lucien, killed them, and afterwards escaped from the spring court and tried to run to the night court, to the Bryson, and they lose the magic because Hybern King, he has this powder, it's called Feyre, and this powder block your magic and you can use it at all. So Lucien and Feyre, they lost their magic, and they was just like mortals run from the spring court to the night court, and their way was through the autumn court. Autumn court was ruled by a High Lord, and this High Lord is a father of the Lucien, but they hate each other, and it was like another very drama story. So they try to careful as possible to cross this court, and on the end we can see that brothers, because Lucien also has 3 brothers, very nasty people, and they find them and try to kill Feyre and Lucien, but they couldn't do it because Geshen and Ezreal, they save Lucien and Feyre and bring them to home. And this part is probably 10%. Afterwards, 70% is mostly political games. They visited some different courts and try to make alliance between each other, to be together, fight with a Hybern King, because he has Calderoy, and it's some scene what is make a lot of changes in this war game. It's pretty strong. It can be like mortal immortal, and it also can break the wall between humans and fairy. It can be like many different stuff to do. So Ryzen and Feyre, they're like main goal to do an alliance between each court, that they will together fight with a king. So we can see that they will travel from court to the court, and also they will like try to do meeting with like all high lords would come and discuss this problem and find solution how to correct to fight, right? Make a strategy some. And we can see that Autumn Court, it's pretty hard to deal with them because they hate everybody and they're pretty evil. And Spring Court, what is Tamlin, he is very hate Feyre and Ryzen because what they did, they destroyed his court. Besides of this, Feyre and Ryzen, they also, because how you remember, they have prison. It's like called the mountain with the most dangerous prisoners and monsters from the other worlds. And Feyre, she made some bargains with different monsters that they would help in the war. The same how is Ryzen, he kind of do the same. In between of all this politic stuff, we also can notice that Nesta with Kishan seems that they start to have a love line. It's only on the beginning. They kind of like don't understand or understood maybe like how they feel to each other, but they try to keep distance between each other. But you can see that something going on there. And also we can see that Lucian has trouble with his mate. Elian, she is totally neutral about him. She is ignoring him and seems that she is more has feeling to the Ezreal, and Ezreal has feeling to him. So we can see here they started to be like two love lines, like one love line and one it's like triangle, love triangle seems like. And on the 80% of the book, we already see that war is start, final battle is start, Highborn, he is destroyed the wall, it starts fight between these armies. So all courts make an alliance, and plus Autumn Court say eventually yes, and also Spring Court, what is led by Tamlin, he was joined to all of them joined together to fight with Highborn. Plus they have like 3 monsters there, what they have a bargains with, and plus of their friends, they have some friends on the another islands, and they was come to support them too. And Lucian, he was pretty brave because he went to another continent and find some princess, what is called Vasa, who is a curse queen. She is on the night. On the night she is a girl, and during the day she is fire bird. So, and she has her army, and Lucian went to the continent and bring her with her army. What it was a big help in this war too. What we can see, even with all this army, it's still not enough to destroy the army of the King Highborn, because he has Calderoy, and its waters make a lot of power to him. So Feyre, Nesta, Amren, and Elian, they try to come to destroy or like at least stop work this Calderoy. Nesta decided to be a bait, so King was left Calderoy, that her sister can come and do some spell about this, and King was trying to find Nesta. So when he find her, he tried to fight with her, and it was Keshan, what is like also helped to her to fight with King. Eventually King seems start to win, but it's sudden there is Elian who is like kind of angel in this book. She is laughing, she is always nice to everybody. She was make this final shot, she was stab the king with a dagger, and Nesta just finish this killing. So that sisters, they kill king, and it starts to be a little bit easy. Amren and Feyre try to stop the Golderoy. Amren is the monster in this like high fair body. So what had happened, Golderoy just release her true natural, and she is almost kill everybody from High King army. So that's like how they will win, and afterwards they understood that Golderoy, what is like keep their land actually, it's broken, so they broke it, and recent with the Feyre they decided to fix this, and during when they fix Ryzen, he is give all his power and die. Right, it was a little bit shocked. Feyre, she was head shocked, and she is make that all high lords they will share with the Ryzen a little bit of their power, and that's how he became again alive. Amran, she so much wanted to be through the people, she doesn't want it to back to her world, whatever it's supposed to be. So she is became just high Feyre, no monster anymore. So, and she seems happy about this. So that's mostly what is happened on this book. Everybody happy. It's end of the war, end of the king. Golderoy went with their friends to another land where they live because it seems very protective, hard to find. And High Lords was left with each other and people without wall, and they seems to think what to be like next step and how they would deal with this. Seems it will be on the next book. And let's talk about characters. So we have main character, it's Ryzen and Feyre, and they love with each other during this whole book. They're already pretty stable in their love, so that's good. Also we have Lucien. Lucien tried to get Alien, but he seems not so confident about it. He doesn't know what to do because she is kind of make borders around her and doesn't want to have anything with Lucien. But Lucien, like for me, was kind of brave man because first he was help Feyre run from the Supreme Court, so that's brave, and another that he went to the continent to find this cursed queen and that was what for me was very brave action, because you are going, I'm not sure he been there or no, but seems that he have never been there, and probably he even would die, but he was makes this step, and I think it's a lot of saying about this person. So during all these books about Lucien, you were like thinking, okay, he is like kind of coward or he is weak character, but on the end, how I see he became more strong. Alien, this flower girl, because she's so fragile and all the time she was crying about her mortal stuff. I didn't realize what's wrong to be immortal, but okay, and almost whole book she was crying, she was close, she didn't want anything, like a baby. It was like hard to understand how old is she. Okay, she is not so old, but still, I mean, like on that condition where they all lived, I mean, she could be like a little bit stronger, because it was seems there's not a young girl, like woman, right? But it's like little girl who is like all the time has depression and not useful at all. Cassian is this Illyrian warrior who is really a fighter. Israel and more, it's like nothing changed about them. They're still pretty loyal. They're good friend, good warriors. They're brave. They do everything for the good of the courts and of the people, so it's like no question to them. During, how you remember, was killed by Amaranta, but Amaranta was keep his eye and his bone, and King was back him to the life. Because 500 years ago, when they had another war, he was general of the people. He was on the side of the people. Now King was back him to the life, and he starts to be on the side of the king. It's king thought about this, but he was kind of spy, but truly he was on the side of the human. So again, bad character who became a good, right? We will talk about this later, because this topic was for me kind of strange in this book, and I had a question to the author about this. Tamlin, this like poor character, I feel very bad about him because he tried to be good, but seems he just like doesn't understand how to be good and why people doesn't like him. So I think he is very confused here, but again he was like did some brave stuff. He also was spy in the king. He was saved Feyre. He was hate all of them, but still joined to the war. And I think all this it's also saying something good about him. So this character is the most what I have struggling to say. Is he good or bad? It's like one character who you can say, okay, he has doing good actions and he doing like bad moves. Good moves and bad moves. That's it. Next part is my favorite, where we critique this book. So, first, how you remember, Feyre was run from the Spring Court with Lucienne, and they supposed to cross the Autumn Court. They were exhausted, without power, and they just like thought where they can spend a night at least, that it would be some safety space, that nobody would find them, and they find a cave. And this powder what is block their magic, it was a few days supposed to be active. So they find this space, this cave, where they kind of like supposed to be safe, who is nobody knows about this, and instead to wait there a few days, they decide to continue their journey without food, without like anything, without magic, through this evil land. And where's the logic? Why they can't just like stay there in the safety like few days, and afterwards magic would come back and they could call to the Ryzen that he is come and takes them, right? It would be much more like logic. And another issue of this great love between Ryzen and Feyre, have you noticed how many moments was when the Feyre was dying? Not only in this book, but like in others book too. It was so many moments, right? And didn't have so many, how many was Feyre had. And again, this moment, because they have bond between each other and they can not only feel each other, but also speak to each other, right? And when Feyre was back to the Ryzen, she was asked, like, honey, what you did all this time? And he just like, oh, I was so, when I lost this bond with you, when I feel this bond with you, I thought that you died, but afterwards I was thinking that you are right and you would be eventually back to me, like something like this it was saying, you know, like kind of bullshit, like for me. And what he did, instead to look for her, where is she, because I mean, like, okay, at least he could track, right? I mean, like, he knows that she is left the Spring Court, So probably she will go through the autumn court somewhere like to him. And his mate, this like what is most important, without any power, probably without food and alone, because maybe with Lucian, maybe not. What if with Lucian, how he would be attitude to her? Maybe he will kill her. Maybe, I mean, it's like so many maybe. And instead to try to find her by himself, what he did, he was come to the continent to look for the witches, to look around what's going on there, something like this. And that's what is great love. How I think great love is like when you do everything what you can, that I mean, like at least like not to do everything to the person, but at least make him safety if it is possible. And instead to help her, to track her, to try to find her, he wouldn't. He just like was in another land, just like flying around to find some witches or whatever. Another strange moment was for me, okay, in this book it was a lot of issues. So another strange moment was for me that she was, her goal was just destroy the Supreme Court. Okay, she's supposed to spy for the king and make like find some information what it would be help his enemies, right? And I mean, she didn't gathering so many information about this. She mostly like destroy Supreme Court and run. And the question was why she didn't stay longer there to gathering much more information, what happened, what's going on, like and give this all information to the rising for what to hurry to run when everybody actually pretty believe you and trust you, right? Next question about Velaris. I was even laugh on this moment because this city was hiding 5,000 years. 5,000 years. Nobody knows about Ryzen's ancestors did like pretty good job, and for 5,000 years I'm pretty sure that it was like many wars there, but still there were like did that. Nobody was even have any idea that this Velaris was exist. And what is Ryzen did? So first he is like on the second book we remember that he was shown this Velaris, what it was 5,000 years nobody knew about this. He was show the city to the witches, right? That's like to get a book. And okay, that's what was smart move. But why he couldn't, after when he got a book, why he couldn't just clean their memories? He is, it's like another issue about his power. Yeah, I mean, like, could you imagine how many he could do with his power? He would be really use it because his power is changing minds, right? So, I mean, afterwards, when like, okay, so he is like sold this information to the witches and they attacked, like they sold it to the king. And king was attacked the Velaris, what is 5,000 years was untouchable. And instead that like to use Ryzen's power and clear their minds, they just like, oh, maybe they wouldn't tell about this anybody, right? And what it was to happen next, how you remember, is like Court of Nightmares there, what is everybody scared with tortures and everything. And there was ruled by the father of the Moor, and he is very cruel person, and he just like, okay, I will help you. What is he told to Ryzen? I will help you, but you have to give me access of the Velaris. I want to come there. And he knows how it would be hurting his inner circle and mostly more the woman who always by his side, who is like sacrifice a lot to him, who is really loyal and love him. He just like, sure, come to the Velaris. And I mean, you could just use your power and change his mind. You can just like change her father's mind about this, but he don't do it because that's bad. It's like cross some borders what he doesn't want to cross, because this is bad, and that hurt people who you love. That's totally okay. Seems like, I mean, so that's like what is do the leader. He is right. He is like follows some ethnic and morals, but also he is supposed to make this decision. What it wouldn't be hurt your loyal people, because loyal people is much more important during the war than your enemies, than pleasure of your enemies. So he could just to broke his mind a little bit and just like got what he wants, and that's it, and nobody would be hurt. But I mean, like, for what he need power that he almost never uses. I don't like when after use a lot of ideas from the movies and from the cartoons, and I especially didn't like when after use idea from the book. If you remember, it was when it was like 500 years ago, was a war where it was like Seraphima, Draco, and Miriam, all these people, they were like somewhere like fighting, and but the idea was that they will like cross the ocean, and like the ocean make like side by side, and they would cross on to the ground, to the land of the ocean, like deep, right? And afterwards it was like ocean come again back to like totally, and like people was die under the ocean, something like this. It was the same idea from the Bible, when we remember how when the Jewish was run from the Egypt and crossed the ocean. It was the same idea, so I don't like that she was took this idea. I didn't like that it was like when I will read this book, it was mainly what it was, this Beast and Beauty cartoon, and about this Feyre bird, this queen who is at night as a woman, and during the day a firebird. Is it like Shrek already or whatever? And it was other many examples from other different movies and cartoons, and it's like so many patterns about this that it was a little bit sad read on this. You want like some fresh ideas. Again, they were struggling about the forces of the king, because they have much less forces than he had, and again, Night Court, they have a prison with a lot of monsters. Just release these monsters. Make bargains, make, I don't know, some aliens with them, like, release these monsters and make them to fight for you with a king and to see what happens. I bet, like, yeah, especially about monsters, it was another issue because they were like immortal. If high fear they immortal, but they kind of easy was to kill them high distant eventually, like, so these monsters, they were like kind of immortal, and nothing can kill. And eventually we see that okay, one this Carvian, bone Carvian monster was killed by the Corduroy. Okay, that's explained a little bit, because Corduroy is supposed to be like something very powerful here. But another monster, what is supposed to be god of the death, was killed just by king because he was broke her neck. King was twist her neck and just like give her body to his animals, and that's why god of death was died. Is it so easy supposed to be? I mean, like, if it's so easy to kill them, so why don't release all of them and to see how many would be alive, and if it would be many of them still alive, seems that it's like no problem with this, because you can like put them back, or like continue live with them peaceful, or just twist their neck and give them to some animals, and that's how they die. Like god of the death was dying by twisting neck. Is it like what is this? What does mean actually birth immortals? And we have another very silly question about the situation. So war is coming. Your enemies already very close. It's almost already started the war, right? And what is doing main character on this time? So Ryzen, he can't look on the Jurian mind, because Jurian just like, I'm on your side, and you can see it on your mind. And Ryzen just like, no, I wouldn't do it, because there I would see Amaranta and I still don't want to look at her. Like, how it's connect to the war and to the that people soon would die. Like, I mean, like, you should put all these feelings somewhere pretty far inside you and just do what you're supposed to do. That's it. Ellen is crying about her love to the Grayson, because he says that he is mortal guy, doesn't want to be with immortal girl. What is actually logic, right? But no, Ellen would be continue to cry about this love, and it's like soon again would be war, people dying, would be a lot of blood, a lot of death, but no better to cry about this love. More, what she do? She's just thinking what to do with Israel, how to deal with him during the war again. Feyre, she is have chance to do bargains with other monster, but she don't do it, because first she want to see how they would deal with this king, and when mostly Fairs would be die, probably then she would do bargain with monsters. And last one is Nesta. Nesta just was crying because she doesn't want to wear pants, and she usually wore dresses. What is this? I don't have words about this, because that's very bad. Instead of them work together, forgot about your feelings, about everything, and do decision what is can be bad for your family, for your friends, for people who you love, but good for in general, like all people, all fairs, they just had like this like mini dramas or mini dramas. Okay, for me just like annoying when it's like something like this like coming, and people were just crying because they doesn't used to wear pants. And continue topic of the feelings. Who thinks that Ryzen is a bad house leader? Okay, I think like this, because I was so much tired of his crying. First, about his crying, he was crying there more than fair. Okay, I agree that man also has feelings, and they also can cry. It's okay, but he can't cry all the time. He cried whole book. I mean, like, Fear was much more stronger than him. Like, why after make him so weak? And another, I was like so much tired about how he is all the time like, no, you wouldn't go there because I love you. No, you wouldn't go somewhere else because I don't want it. Like what he's saying mostly to his family, to his friends, right? That like, no, we wouldn't do because you can have some insurance. It's a war. And this like warriors, soldiers, and people who can change the war. And you have to be like not only one who is doing everything, but he's supposed to have the leader divided their responsibilities around these old people, because like everybody's supposed to responsible for something, and it doesn't matter is it your friend, is it your lover, whatever. He or she is supposed to do it because that's like what is leader. He is more like supposed to be like a brainstorm to be in this story. Who is like, okay, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do that. Not all the time to cry and beg everybody to stay close to him because they could have some injuries. Like, I personally, me was so tired about all this sentimental stuff. Okay, it can be like feelings man has, could be like leader, want to do something or don't to do, but leader always supposed to understand. If you talk about war, right? Because if you talk about romance, so I prefer with like leader all the time, like, okay, you are my mate, you're supposed to be safe, right? But if it's like after deciding to write like war, it's not background, but the main story is there, so it's supposed to be like interesting to read, and leader supposed to be leader who is divided responsibility, and okay, you have to do this, you have to do this, because the main goal usually every leader that it would be survive the most people as possible. That's the most goal of every leader. It's not like that's why people usually choose this leader. Not because he has like he's a good man and he has like some feelings to his friends and family and whatever. Also about all this war situation, I was also tired to read about their luck, because mostly what they did is because they and how they were survived, because they were just lucky. Like they didn't have any plans, they didn't have any strategy. They just doing. They seems like just doing it by intuition. Okay, if they're trying to do something like some strategy, some like solve problem, but mostly they're crying, they complain, they have like a lot of drama, and they what is not necessary. That's like everything, all feelings. What was the most? What is not necessary? And that's like why book actually could be much shorter, because I mean it wasn't so interesting to read about like all this mini drama. In every fight, in every battle, main characters was just lucky because somebody suddenly show up and help them, or they suddenly see some exits there. That's it. But they never have strategy in this book. Another was couple, it's Moore and Israel. Have you understood? Moore is lesbians and she prefer females. And she said it to the Feyre because she doesn't want, she wants to be honest with her, because she is very value her. And Moore knows that Israel loves her during centuries, but what she do, she just like saying Feyre, who she knows like 1 year. Okay, it's like her high lady and whatever, but still she knows her 1 year, and she told to her the truth instead to tell it to the Israel, who is with you centuries, who is like help you, who is like around you, and instead said to stop his suffering about her, because he have no idea why she sometimes closer to him, sometimes further to him, and play with him like with a puppy. She just like decided, maybe I will tell the truth actually to the Feyre instead of Ezreal, and Ezreal would be continue to be my puppy. Because now I'm actually afraid to tell him truth, like, come on, it's so bad to the person who you say that you love him. On the end, we see that Alien, she is this flower who is everything afraid. She doesn't want to talk with everybody. She's crying and suffering all the time. On the end, she took a dagger and just stabbed to the king's neck. Right, and suddenly we see that she actually not so weak and fragile character, but she is strong character. And it's already was kind of predictable because again somebody supposed to show up that to save others, right? Yeah, but also what I noticed in this book, I'm glad when some authors do, there is like some bad characters became a more positive, right? Yeah, like we see that on the beginning he did some mistakes, and afterwards he do like some good moves. What is like became him like more positive character. But in this book, it was so many bad characters. It was like Lucian, um, father of the sisters, Nesta, uh, Julian, right? They all like supposed to be bad characters who we suppose doesn't like so much because okay, what does Nesta did? Like she all the time bad. Like to everybody, right? She doesn't like everybody. She thinks that she is queen. I still don't understand why she thinks that she is queen, and her behavior to her sister it's always so bad, and it's even no explanation why it's so bad because Feyre all the time was help her. Like if it wouldn't be Feyre, they wouldn't be like never survive. And instead to be like thankful at least like to show some respect. Nesta, like in some moments, she suddenly do some moves what is actually I think not belong to her so much. I mean, like it's not like she more seems like bad character, but sometimes she is do like good moves. Like for what? Like and these are good moves. It's like not so much explained why she do it because she kind of love her, but maybe like she would start love her with respect, not with all the time look at her from the up to the down. Their father, who is what doesn't care about that his young daughter went to the like 14 years old girl went and hunting food for them on the forest. He wasn't care about this, but suddenly he became a hero and bring a queen with her army. What is this? Like how it's happened? Like because if the person covers, he would be continue to be covered. If he don't do anything, he would be continue don't do anything. Of course, he can be changed if it would be motivation for him. But okay, it wasn't for you motivation when your daughter's going to die from the starving. Is it not enough motivation? But afterwards, it was for you motivation, just like to bring army when you know that they actually has army. And Julian, right? The man who was general of human army, and suddenly king was awake him, and he is like actually supposed to be lost his mind, and he was on the side of the king. And we seen on the beginning that it's kind of like this, but eventually he became actually a good character who actually on the side of the humans again, right? Bad character became positive character. Lucian is like more like all the time neutral, but he is very neutral. He doesn't help his friends at all. He just like person who is do what is other will tell him. That's it. And suddenly he became this person who is just like, okay, I will go and bring army to you. Like, where it's from comes? What is this again, right? And my favorite character from all of these characters is Tamlin, because poor Tamlin, it seems after really decided to mock him, like for me, how I understood, because he is on the beginning we see that he is very strong man. He is like helpful, he understandable, he is really good character. Afterwards we see that he is bad character because he was stop of the freedom of the Feyre. He doesn't listen here, like he became kind of big bad character. Afterwards we see that he is actually kind of, for me, he is a good character was because he was put his lands for sure. I mean, like, okay, just like think about this, that he knows that leader of the Night Court took Feyre, and plus this like leader of Night Court, he can change your mind. and he is like bad. Everybody knows that he is bad, and suddenly he has this paper what is Feyre was sent to him a letter. Don't look for me anywhere, like I'm happy I with this like leader of night court. And if it would be like me, like as a Damien, I would be like, what the fuck? I will go and save my life. Something like this it would be, right? And he is like put his lens, his court for her. I mean, afterwards he understood that actually they're mates with each other and they love each other. And but still he's like kind of Horizon is bad character. But after like half of other book, he understood that actually Ryzen is a good character, right? So I mean, like, is it Tamlin really bad or was there? I mean, he did everything that just like he did everything just like to save his love. What if it would be Ryzen really bad character and would be manipulate with her mind, and Feyre would be like very suffering, right? How it would be looks afterwards, like I said, we would be all like, oh, Damien actually very good character and he is very good man because he will save her from this tyranny. Something like this it would be. Again, like for me it was like kind of good character. Afterwards he was like show up when it was like they had meeting with other high lords and he was show up, he was angry, he was like hate everybody, and it was understandable because she came, destroyed his court, manipulate everybody there, like, and plus he understood that she is not anymore his love. I mean, like, of course, it's like really feeling supposed to be like that. He's supposed to be very upset. So he showed up and was upset, and afterwards, what we see, he was come to the king and became a spy there. Like he knows that nobody trusts him in the his island or this lords. They don't trust him. But he anyway come to the king to gather all information. And again, he was sacrificed of his role to be spy there for sure. He will sacrifice his role and plus sacrifice almost his life for sure. Did Ryzen did it? No, he all the time crying and just like, no, don't go there, don't do this, like, and became like, I don't know. I'm just so disappointed of this Ryzen. And like for me, like Damien, he just like was confused. And like in some way kind of scary, but he is trying his best to do like at least something. He tried to fix some situation. He tried to understand he at least like trying to do something. I mean, like he just was confused what I think, like, but if to explain him to the again, he had trauma too, like Ryzen had trauma and Feyre had trauma and Damien had trauma. They all had trauma and they all to deal some way. And Damien was alone when it's like Feyre and Ryzen, they were like mates and they have this bond and they will like cure each other. Damien is alone and he tried absolutely everything for her to do, like, and still it's not enough. Like, but Ryzen, who is like totally just like, it's like bone disappear. I thought that you die, but afterwards I kind of figure out that you somewhere there running without magic. But I will go to see like about witches, how it's there, like, and the most powerful high fair on that century is supposed to be like a Damien, who is like we understood that he is not so powerful, who is like doesn't like who is destroyed, or still he's do like everything. I mean, like, you know, it's this like when it's like man give you $10 and another man give you like $100, and you just like need to understand like that man who is like has $10 and give you $10, he have only $10, and that guy who is like give you $100, he has like billions. You know, like, and it's already like different, right? So how for me it's like the same how it's here, like it's if to think like really it's Damien actually not so bad character. And what we see next, again everybody against him, he is very bad. and what he did, he came to the war and even bring with him autumn core. Like he actually did a lot for the war, and especially when it's like everybody against you and you still do a lot to them. Like it means, I think, a lot. And conclusion of this book. So far, this is the biggest book of all series. Yeah, already rated 3 from 5 because okay, it's like still some. No, actually, I think 2 from 5. Because I'm very disappointed, how I said before, romantic fantasy is supposed to be first love after first war, not war after first love. Here we see continue Feyre and Rysand love. I didn't understand why it's story tell from the Feyre, because it's like more interesting would be from the Elena or from the, I don't know, Lucy, and even from Tamlin. I actually would like to read from his storyteller, how he is really think about and why he is behave like this, because Tamlin is character of a lot of contradictions, so it's like very tricky character, I would say, in this book. So it would be actually interesting about him, and I hope that he would be really happy of the end of this series. So yeah, anyway, I start to be disappointed of this series, and it was even harder to finish read this book because it was kind of boring already, not so spicy, not so tricky, not so much intrigue. Yeah, like yes, it was some interesting moments there, but still it was everything predictable, and characters, many characters from the bad turn to the good, or this it is a good stuff, and on the end you're just thinking like, maybe next book it would be this like King of Highborn, he would be back and just like, hey, actually I did everything for you, you know, and he would be like eventually a good character, because it's hard to read when the characters do some actions and they're not logical, they're not good explained, and for what to do it, I don't understand. Like it's okay to do it, like to show that like person could be changed, but not so much, and not so chaotic. So yeah, but we have to read this book because it's serious. And see you on the next time, on the next book, and to see how it would be next.